Come on, City of Tacoma, you know what to do. Get on your feet. Come on, get on your feet. And put your hands together. Let's go! Come on, clap your hands. Let's go.
With God I can. With God I can. I can. With God I can get through this. I can move mountains that stand in my way. Whatever comes, I will be okay. With God, with God, I can. With God I can.
With God I can.
God I can. I can.
With God I can. Get through this.
Get through this.
I want you to be encouraged today. With God I can.
God I can.
With God I can.
God I can. I can. With God I can.
Get through this.
Get through this.
I can move
I
mountains
can move mountains
that stand in my way.
in my way.
Whatever comes, I will be okay.
Be okay.
Say with God, with God, I can.
I can.
Oh, I can.
I can.
I can. Oh, I can.
I can.
Hey, everybody clap, 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 clap. There's nothing too big, nothing too small, nothing that you cannot conquer. Through it all, with God, you can. I'm a witness. Hey, let's go. Nothing is too hard. For I have God. Nothing too hard. Yes, I have God. Nothing is too hard. Yes, I have God. Nothing is too hard. Yes, I have God. With God, with God I can. With God I can. With God I can. With God I can. With God you can. With God you can. With God you can. With God you can. Everybody, with God I can. 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 Oh, with God I can. With God I can. Yeah, 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 yeah. With God I can. Nothing's too hard. Too hard. Yes, I have God. Nothing is too hard. Yes, I have God. Nothing too hard. Yes, I have God. Nothing is too hard. Yes, I have God. Nothing too hard. Yes, I have God. Nothing too hard. Yes, I have God. God I can. Yeah, yeah.
Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up for the Tracy L. Davis Choir, everyone. Woo! Absolutely phenomenal. Incredible, incredible. Good afternoon, everyone. Can we give another round of applause, please, for the choir? Please, please, please. I'm Kwabia Moa-Forson, and I'm going to be your guys' host for this afternoon, for this incredible ceremony. It's absolutely incredible to be here. It's important today that we acknowledge that we are on the traditional homelands of the Puyallup tribe. The Puyallup people have lived and stewarded these lands since the beginning of time and continue to do so today. We recognize that this land acknowledgement is just one very small step that we are taking towards true allyship, and we commit to uplifting the voices and experiences and histories of the indigenous people of this land and beyond. Now, I invite you all to please stand, as you are able, for the presentation of colors by the Stadium High School Navy JROTC Color Guard and National Anthem sung by Aria Jones.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched through the bombs in the air. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the ramparts we watched, gave proof in the air that the bombs bursting in the air. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now, before we get going, I'd like for us to take 10 seconds of silence, not just for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but for the hundreds of people, individuals who have worked tirelessly to get us where we are here today. You know, Dr. King once said that life's most persistent and urgent question is what we will do in the service of others. City of Tacoma, today at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration, we will ask that question together. But before we do that, I'd like to say good afternoon, Tacoma. Good afternoon, Tacoma. How y'all feeling? You feeling good? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. You know what? You guys look good. Can you turn to the person next to you and say you look good? Yeah. You know, we're gathered here today not just because of Dr. King. Of course we are here for Dr. King, but we're here to continue the work. Here to continue the legacy, right? Because last time I checked, Dr. King just didn't give us a holiday. The man gave us an assignment. He gave us an assignment. So if you believe in order for justice to persist, we need to take action, say amen. Amen. Say amen. Amen. I think it's definitely true. Why are we here? You know, I believe that the work of Dr. King isn't just about the words he said in the past, but it's about what we're going to do now, today, in the city of Tacoma. Dr. King envisioned a beloved community. And I think that the city of Tacoma looks a little bit like that vision he had. Tacoma's diverse. It's resilient, that's for sure. And it's becoming. We're not naive to think that we've made it yet. We have a lot of things that need to be done. We're about progress here in Tacoma. My name is Kwabia Moa-Forson, and I'm a humanitarian from Tacoma, Washington. Appreciate it. Yeah, I help people in need. It's my full-time job. I help people who are hungry by giving them food, give out resources to people in need. That's what I do for a full-time job. I'm also an actor. I've been in a few movies, which is pretty cool. And I'm also a licensed pilot. I fly airplanes. And if you don't know, which I hope you would know, that in order to fly an airplane, you need fuel, right? You need fuel. If you don't have fuel, the engine doesn't work. And if the engine doesn't work, then the propeller doesn't turn. And we need the propeller in order to create thrust and momentum. And I believe that the fuel that we so desperately need here in the community, every individual, to get on our path to action, that fuel is inspiration. Luckily, we live in the city of destiny. So inspiration is all around us. We don't have to go too far. And there's no doubt about it, you will be inspired today. All the singing, the dancing, the incredible words that will be spoken, you will be inspired. But what about tomorrow? What about next week? What about 5 months from now? What about 5 years from now? How will you ensure that that little flicker of light, that little flicker of inspiration keeps on burning? Yes, Dr. King is inspirational. But you know what, everyone? I think we're pretty inspirational too. I want to challenge you to look to your friends, your family, your mom, your dad, the people who are doing the work in the community. Let them light your fire for inspiration. Over the summer, I do a campaign called All Youth Can Eat, and I team up with restaurants in Tacoma in order to ensure that kids and college students experiencing food insecurity get fed. And this last summer, we fed over 5,500 youth and college students. Incredible, it was incredible. And one day this summer, I'm at one of those restaurants and I'm eating a burger, hanging out, and this kid comes up to me, maybe like 10 years old. He's kind of shy, and he comes over towards me and he says, "Are you Mr. Quabi?" And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And he's like, "Hey, I think you're really inspiring." And I was really taken back by this. Thank you, right? And he says, you came to my school and you gave a speech. And I also follow you on Instagram. I like your martial arts videos. And he gave a kick. You know, I'm a black belt, so sometimes I do my Taekwondo videos online. And I was really taken back. I said, "Thank you so much, kid." And I told him, "How is school going?" And he says, "School's going great, but you know what? Since you came to my school to speak, I now go out and give out socks to people on the street. I give out socks to the homeless. And you know what? I convinced my parents to do the same thing. We want to do the work that you're doing." Now check this out. I inspired him, he inspired me, and just as Martin Luther King Jr. inspires us all, we inspire each other. Thank you so much, and welcome to the Dr. Martin Luther King celebration for the city of Tacoma. It is now my pleasure to welcome Kayla Lindquist, classically trained vocalist and graduate of Pacific Lutheran University, for the singing of the Black National Anthem, "Lift Every Voice and Sing."
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee, shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our
Give it up for Kayla, everyone. Woo! Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for blessing us with your gift. Wow. I wish I could sing like that. It's incredible. Yeah. Obviously, we're already having an incredible start to this 38th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the mayor of the city of Tacoma, Anders Ibsen. Mayor?
Let's give it up one more time for those amazing performers. Why don't we, huh? Wow. Good luck following that, huh? Well, thank you so much, everyone. Such untrammeled, unparalleled, unapologetic joy that we all see in front of us. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Anders Ibsen. I'm honored to serve as your new mayor of the city of Tacoma. Before I get started, thank you. Before I get started, and a bit of an ad lib before I get to my remarks, Dr. King himself was an unrepentant advocate for working people, so I think it'd be remiss unless we thank some really crucial people here. For starters, the community volunteers, the City of Tacoma staff, the Convention Center staff, were all made this event possible. Can you please give them a big round of applause from the bottom of our hearts, too? It's not just about us, it's about the community. So we are here today to celebrate and honor the legacy of Dr. King, a man who expanded the moral imagination of an entire nation. And what I see before us today here is just untrammeled, unrepentant joy. And the thing about joy is that it's not simply an act of love and happiness, but especially in the darkest of times, it's an act of defiance. Because the people, the forces of injustice, want to take away our joy. They want to replace it with fear. But we resist that, don't we? We resist fear with joy. And the thing is, sustained joy becomes more than joy, it becomes resolve, which is the entire purpose of today and the work of today. Dr. King and his work show that dignity can be a form of resistance, and that justice is something that ordinary people can bend the world towards when they act together. Today we honor that legacy as we acknowledge tragedy, because that's the reality of joy, is that it's not the ignorance of pain, but the resolve to remove it and to do better. Tragedy in places like Minneapolis, Oregon, and others. In particular, I want to acknowledge the killing of Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis on January 7th, and the continued horrifying actions by ICE over the past couple weeks. Silence in the face of authoritarianism and reckless endangerment of our communities is not an option. Justice requires more than investigation after the fact. It requires asking hard questions about power, accountability, and federal overreach. It asks us to use our own eyes to be a witness to the truth. Dr. King warned us about unchecked power and systems that value order over humanity. Today, honoring Dr. King's legacy means being willing to say plainly that no government agency is above scrutiny and no mission justifies the loss of human dignity or life. Justice demands accountability at every level of government, including the federal level, and it demands that local leaders speak up when actions taken in our name violate our values. And I know that Tacoma will continue to step up and demonstrate our continued peaceful resilience. Now, I want to be clear at the onset. Today is not about reciting Dr. King's words or congratulating ourselves for showing up. Dr. King was not interested in symbolism without substance. He was interested in whether systems actually change and whether people who have been shut out gain real access to power. So I want to talk about justice in practical terms. Justice is not a slogan. It's not a checklist. And it's not something that you declare. It's something that you produce. Justice shows up in the outcomes. It shows up in whether the process is fair, transparent, and accountable. And it shows up in whether people who have historically been left out and left behind can actually influence decisions that affect their lives. That lens, justice as outcomes, justice as access to power, is what guides my priorities as your mayor. Safety is a justice issue. That means absolutely something to the high school teacher that I spoke with last year, who in the span of just 2 years lost 4 of her school kids to gun violence. Safety is justice, not just because people deserve to be safe, but because safety cannot depend on your zip code, your income, or whether the system notices you at all. Justice means coordination instead of fragmentation, prevention alongside enforcement, and real accountability for results to keep you safe. Housing is a justice issue. For me, housing affordability is not policy theory, it's human beings. Like the retired social worker I met at the door, who in her last year of practice was seeing elderly people being sent to nursing homes and gig workers living in cars. Housing justice isn't abstract. It's about whether the city of Destiny has people who can actually afford to continue living here. Justice demands that we stop accepting delays and risk aversion as excuses while people are priced out, pushed out, or swept away. Homelessness is a justice issue. When I think of homelessness, I don't think of statistics or dollar figures. Absolutely. I don't think of numbers. I don't think of abstractions. I think of the high school girl I met in a homeless shelter on Portland Avenue. And I think of the people and I think of the systems that failed her and how we can do better. Advancing a regional results-driven approach to keeping people like her housed means moving past symbolic gestures and towards measurable outcomes. It means aligning with our regional partners, being honest about what works and what does not, and holding ourselves accountable for progress, not just activity. Finally, economic opportunity is a justice issue. Let's not forget that at the time of his assassination, Dr. King was supporting a union recognition effort by garbage workers on strike. Advancing the ideals of equity means nothing unless working people actually have enough money to live the good life and have the people who come after them have it better than they did. That means approaching economic development with real focus instead of gimmicks, and having the courage to hold ourselves accountable to having real standards. That's good for business, that's good for our air and water, and it's good for working families. Because we're a dynamic city that gets things done, and Tacoma is a union town. At the end of the day, Dr. King understood that injustice is often defended in polite language, calls for patience, caution, and gradualism. But he also understood that progress comes from disciplined action, moral clarity, and an insistence on results. That is the standard that we should hold ourselves to. My commitment to you is that this city will focus less on performative progress and more on delivery, less on avoiding risk and more on earning trust through action, and less on talking about inclusion and more on expanding real power to decision-making abilities for actual Tacoma people. That is my promise to you. Tacoma has the talent, the resources, and the responsibility to lead. Justice demands that we use those things well. So let today be less about ceremony, more about resolve. Less about caution, more about courage. Less about words and more about work. And let it mark a renewed commitment on our part from all of us to building a city that produces justice, not just promises it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Let's get to work.
Thank you so much, Mayor. I agree. It's time that we do work. Your speech makes me think of the saying, many hands make light work. And as we travel on this path to action and justice, I believe that unity will make progress a whole lot easier. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you the first of the community voices, Erica Diama of the Diama Creative, a local influencer and supporter of Pierce County's cultural food scene.
Good afternoon, Tacoma. My name is Erica Diama, and I make food videos on the internet. Now, you're probably wondering what I'm doing up here because honestly, I had the same question. But this really just goes to show that anyone can serve and make a difference. 9 years ago, I started a social media account where I would share photos of food that I was eating at restaurants. And what began as a hobby has now grown into something that I never could have imagined. Eating became more than just about the food. It became a way for me to connect with my community, meet the people behind the food, learn about their cultures, share their stories, and grow alongside them. Dr. King's dedication to service is a reminder that meaningful change often starts in our own communities. And this really resonates with me as a Filipino immigrant. When my family moved here to the US in 2008, we barely knew anyone. Those first few years were really tough, but the help and kindness that we received from our community helped us get back on our feet. Today, I'm fortunate to have a platform that allows me to pay it forward by amplifying small and minority-owned businesses, celebrating the people behind them, and helping them reach new audiences. And I could not have done this alone. None of this would be possible without all of us coming together. From the businesses who share their journeys to the members of the community who have given me their trust, my generous community partners, and everyone who has supported me along the way. It truly takes a village, and together we are stronger. So today, here's my invitation. Find some time and talk to the person next to you and share with them your favorite local business you think they should support. Then if you haven't already, write this business a glowing review online. I also encourage you all to attend local events here in Tacoma. There's always something cool going on. And if you have spare time, volunteer. Get out there, talk to people, get to know their stories, build connections, and always be kind to one another. So thank you so much, and let's eat.
Hello, I'm Jessica Johnston, the chair of City's Events and Recognition Committee. Today, on behalf of our committee, I am honored to welcome you to the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. Today, we're here to bring community together, to uplift one another, and to inspire action. Our theme this year is Community in Service, a Path to Action. And community in service can mean many things to many people. To our committee, it means gratitude,
dedication,
empathy,
unity,
support. And this year, giving back to our community is more important than ever.
Giving back to Tacoma is important to learn about the resources available, who the people in your community are, and how you can help your neighbors.
Because this is how we uplift and support our community.
Because this is the community that raised me, and I took so much from it that it's only right that I give back to it.
It's important because it strengthens the bonds that we have as neighbors.
Through City's Events and Recognition Committee, we hope to offer a path in many different ways.
By giving our community an opportunity to use their voices to support and recognize Tacoma.
By encouraging people to get involved year-round.
By elevating those voices, those communities, and those community servants who elevate and serve Tacoma.
And making sure that the impact is everlasting.
We hope that if you feel moved today, that you take your donations, your volunteer work, or your passions to help uplift others. Thank you so much for being here today, and we hope you enjoy the event.
Big thank you to Erica. Thank you so much. And to the members of the City Events and Recognitions Committee. Can we give them another round of applause, please? Yeah. It's now my pleasure to introduce A Dream, A Call to Action by Tacoma's Poet Laureate, Mari G.
Once there was a dream, not polished, not practiced, not finished. A dream still breathing, still becoming, still bending toward the people who dared to imagine it before the world was ready. It wasn't wrapped in perfection. It wasn't safe or small. It was bold, spoken in rooms where hope was risky and truth had consequences. A dream born from dignity, from the belief that humanity should not have to beg to be treated as such. And we've inherited that dream, not as a museum piece or a quote to memorize, but as a living invitation, because a dream unfinished is not a failure, it's a responsibility, a call to action, not to exhaust ourselves, not to overperform justice, but to continue living what our leaders and trailblazers set in motion, to build, to organize, to create, to commune. Community, to me, is communing in the unity of humanity. It's neighbors, it's family, it's brothers and sisters linked not by blood, but by block, by city, by shared spaces and shared fate, a village tucked inside this city. And when we hear call to action, we don't have to panic. It doesn't have to be loud or layered in pressure. Sometimes the call is simple. Show up. Show up for the small businesses holding on by faith and grit, opening doors every morning, hoping someone sees them, chooses them, supports them. Show up for community events, for organizations built on care, for spaces that survive because people say, I'll be there. Show up by sharing resources, circulating knowledge, passing the mic, passing the word, passing what you have so it doesn't stop with you. Sometimes the call sounds like saying, I'm here, to a neighbor, to a community member, to someone who just needs to know they're not invisible. Sometimes it looks like a hug, a check-in, a moment of listening without rushing to fix. And I believe, deeply, one of the greatest gifts you can give your community is being yourself. No mask, no pedestals, no pretending to be more polished than your spirit actually feels. Because authenticity creates permission, and permission creates belonging. That's how villages form, not through performance, but through presence. I want us to release the shame around not knowing. You don't have to understand everything to care. You don't have to get it perfect to get involved. Curiosity is commitment. Effort is action. Learning as you go is still movement. And even when you're tired, especially when you're tired, possibility is still alive. Not in grand gestures, but in small, steady acts that say, I'm still here. I still care. Justice at the neighborhood level looks like safety, like dignity, like choosing relationship over distance, like protecting one another because no one should stand alone. So maybe the dream today isn't about doing more. Maybe it's about remembering that what you already carry has value. Your skills, your trades, your talents, your time, your presence. Every offering matters when it's given with intention. The dream wasn't polished and it wasn't finished. It was passed down to us so we could live it daily and honestly together. And if we keep choosing care, keep choosing community, keep choosing to show up as we are, then the dream is not behind us, it's right here, moving through us, becoming real, one breath at a time. Thank you.
Let's give another round of applause for Mario G, please. Another round of applause. Yeah. Thank you for your poem. Thank you for your words. We all benefit from it. In fact, anytime we utilize our skills in order to promote unity, we're doing a service for the community. Each year, the City Events and Recognitions Committee receives nominations for the prestigious Martin Luther King Jr. Community Service Award. The awardees selected to receive this honor exemplify a commitment to the legacy of Dr. King. Please help me welcome Jessica Johnston, Chair of the City's Events and Recognitions Committee, to introduce to you this year's awardees. Jessica.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you feeling right now? Well, on behalf of the city's Events and Recognitions Committee, I am so glad to have so much of our community here today. What I would like to remind everyone, as former Mayor Woodards used to always say, that today is a day of service. So if you have not had the chance and opportunity after this, please go out to our outreach fair and volunteer. There are sign-up sheets so that we can move this day of service into a year-long or a lifetime moment of service. J.D. Davis is a visionary who turns beats into building blocks and events into movements. As the founder of Way Out Kids, JD has spent years using music and media to uplift youth across Tacoma, helping them see themselves as creators, leaders, and change makers. For his tireless service, creative brilliance, and community-centered leadership, he is the recipient of the 2026 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Emerging Leader Community Service Award. Through his nonprofit, JD created Rodney Raccoon. Yes, he's here somewhere. Oh, thank you. A kid-friendly character teaching health, safety, and emotional well-being through culturally responsive music and animation. His events like Way Out Fun Day and the free holiday giveaway have directly supported over 20,000 children, providing food, gifts, and supplies to families who need them most. Whether he is on stage performing or personally handing out school kits, JD is deeply rooted in service, not spotlight. JD also launched Tacoma's Juneteenth celebration, A Road to Economic Freedom, which in just 3 years has become the largest Juneteenth event in Washington state, drawing tens of thousands and providing a platform for Black excellence and economic empowerment. What began as a cultural gathering is now a community institution, free, accessible, and deeply impactful. From grassroots planning to major sponsorships, JD has built a model of what inclusive, community-first organizing looks like. His nonprofit work is equally transformative. Way Out Kids now partners with 10 schools, serving over 450 students annually through an 8-week STEM program that blends music, science, and social emotional learning. The curriculum centers student voices, uplifts underrepresented identities, and makes learning joyful and relevant. JD's programs reflect Tacoma's diversity and ensures every child feels seen, heard, and valued. Though his background includes licensing deals with MTV, JD stays grounded. He is still out in the community, loading trucks, running sound, answering calls, and listening. His servant leadership has marked by humility, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to doing what is right, even when it's hard. J.D. Davis is more than a nonprofit leader and founder. He is a cultural architect, a role model, a builder of joy, equity, and opportunity. For his bold vision, deep integrity, and unstoppable energy, Please join me in honoring this year's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Emerging Leader Community Service Award recipient. Please give it up for J.D. Davis.
Wow, that was a lot. I want some theme music now or something. Jeez. Thank you very much. First, thank you to everyone involved in the nomination and the decision-making process. This is such a prestigious award, considering the reason we are all here to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his history-shifting work that he and a whole collection of people were able to do. Now, in all honesty, I wrestled with this award. I wrestled because as a youth, my mother would sit me in the bed at night and read books about Dr. King and Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman and the others, and she would expound on the important work that they all did and how they risked everything to make it happen. And what I learned as a child was how serious they were about changing the trajectory of our people. They were serious about equity. They were serious about economic freedom, and they gave their lives for us to achieve it. So I had to analyze myself. I had to really ask myself, are you truly deserving of such an award? And so I did what most people do when they're looking for answers. I posted it. And luckily, I received an abundance of congratulations and well-deserved. And then some said, emerging? Like, JD, you've been doing this for so long. How are you just an emerging leader? But that made me dive into the word emerging. And what does it mean? And I'd like to just share it with you. The word emerge means to rise or come forth, to develop. Emerge is used to describe coming forth from a place of concealment and to become visible. The Middle French and Latin word origins include the deliberate action of bringing to light something that was hidden. And when you think of that word emerge, how many of us have something that's hidden that needs to be brought to light? So with emerging, it means you are constantly evolving. And that's when it came home for me. Constantly evolving, always growing, always changing, always developing, and committing yourself to lifelong learning. To close, in the words of the great Dr. Martin Luther King, if you can't fly, run. And if you can't run, walk. And if you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving. Thank you.
Yes, please give it up for J.D. Davis. We are truly blessed by the community that calls Tacoma home, and I'm very proud to be part of that community. So thank you all so much, and thank you, JD, for all of the hard work that you do. I would also like to thank all of the public officials that are here today in our audience. If you'd like to stand up and say hello, thank you for your service in continuing to we're all going to stay seated, and continuing to lead us in the right direction for our city. So thank you so much from the bottom of all of our hearts. Uncle Boy Chun Phok is a living embodiment of service, humility, and community care. For nearly 3 decades, he has devoted his life to preserving Hawaiian culture, strengthening families, and creating a welcoming home for generations of paddlers along Tacoma's waterfront. For this extraordinary lifetime of impact, he is being awarded with the 2026 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Lifetime Community Service Award. Uncle Boy is the founder of Kikaha Oi Kai Kai. Thank you. Outrigger Canoe Club, based on the Foss Waterway, where he has built far more than a paddling organization. What began in the mid-1990s has grown into a multi-generational, multicultural family, welcoming Keiki as young as 5 and Kupuna, thank you, Kupuna, thank you, well into their 80s. Through outrigger canoeing, Uncle Boy teaches discipline, respect, teamwork, and reverence for the water, while ensuring that everyone, regardless of age, background, or ability, belongs. His leadership is not ceremonial. It is consistent, hands-on, and deeply personal. For nearly 30 years, Uncle Boy has worked around the clock to maintain the club's fleet, facilities, programming, and spirit. He has coached teams across the Pacific Northwest and Hawaii, organized races and cultural events, supported youth programs, and represented Tacoma on the international stage through his leadership with the Pacific Northwest Outrigger Racing Canoe Association. Kikaha, thank you, has thrived because of his integrity, resilience, and unwavering commitment to community over self. Uncle Boy's compassion is legendary. Each year at the Chicken Long Race, paddlers from across the country and even Canada gather in the cold fall weather. And every year, Uncle Boy and his wife, Auntie Bryn, cook through the night to prepare their famous chicken long rice soup, feeding. It must be delicious. I love that. I love that. We need to pair you with our food blogger. And excuse me, this tradition, done quietly and without expectation of recognition, reflects the heart of his leadership, care for others, offered freely and with aloha. His work also bridges cultures. Under Uncle Boy's guidance, he has built meaningful relationships with the Puyallup tribe and other Native communities, reorganizing a shared history of these waters as places of work, travel, and gathering. Through canoe blessings, cultural exchanges, music, and hula, he has created space for mutual respect and learning, bringing Dr. King's vision of unity into daily practice. Uncle Boy leads with love, teaches by example, and serves without pause. His legacy lives in every stroke of the paddle, every child welcomed into the canoe, and every community member who has found family through Kika Ha Okay Hi. For a lifetime devoted to integrity, compassion, humility, and hope, please join me in honoring the 2026 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Lifetime Community Service Award to Tacoma's very own Uncle Boy.
Aloha, everyone. First of all, I want to thank God. Thank God. Give him all the praise and glory because he has given us a way to come here all together and be recognized for what we do. And I also definitely thank the Puyallup Nation and all the Indian nation in this world to allow us to paddle in their waters all over the ocean. You can end these waters over here in Washington. And also Dr. Martin Luther King. I know him from young time. He has given all of us dreams. Dreams that we need and to put in action, right? JD, if we got to put it in action because we need that kind of dreams to come true. But most of all, I want to thank my wife, Brenda. She has been my backbone from day one since I met her over there in Ever Beach. From day one, girl. Stand up, babe. She's definitely my backbone. And my kids, Isaiah is here, Brenda is not here, but Brittany, Sarah, Kelly, Gabby. Stand up over there, you guys. And my grandkids, stand up. They're my employers. They're the one who help me out all the time. But also I want to thank the Kikaha Woke Kai Outrigger Canoe Club. You guys, this is all you guys work. I'm just a vessel from God. You know what I mean? He put me in this place to give you guys what we need, the tools that what we need. And that I cannot give more thank you to all of you guys, especially the leaders, the other leaders from the Va'a Canoe Clubs. I've seen Uncle Stan, I've seen Uncle Rod. And of course, we're Auntie Nellie, Uncle John McCartney, Scott Moody, and Laura Moody for nominating me and giving all that special words. Well, what Dr. King said, I gotta read this. He said, and he brought us all together under one nation, under God. Just remember that, you guys, because Dr. King, without him, we would not be here with all the celebrations and stuff like that. So I want to say just thank you for everything. And Jessica, and all you people that's out here for coming in to celebrate. I love you guys all. Meke aloha pumihana. Aloha.
Let's give another round of applause, please. Please, please. Big thank you to Jessica and congratulations to all of the 2026 Martin Luther King Jr. Community Service awardees. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce you our next community voice, India Irons, founder and executive director. Okay. Founder and executive director of the Fearless Dance Studio.
Good afternoon. My name is India Irons, and it is an honor to be here with you all today. Service for me began long before I ever had a degree or a title. It began in a broken household in a childhood shaped by instability and experiences no child should have to carry. I didn't always have someone to tell me I was enough, but I found healing and hope through movement, community, and rare adults who saw my potential, even when life felt heavy. I learned early that sometimes all a young person needs is just one person who refuses to give up on them. That lesson became the foundation of my work with youth. Through Fearless Dance Studio, my mission is to create spaces where young people can rise, where they can heal from trauma, navigate depression, and rediscover who they are beyond negative influences. Dance becomes more than movement. It becomes a language for expression, confidence, and purpose. Service to me is not charity. It is resistance. It is the daily work of undoing systems that were never designed with all of us in mind and replacing them with spaces rooted in safety, dignity, and opportunity. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. understood this deeply. His dedication to service was inseparable from his commitment to justice. He didn't just speak about love. He organized, challenged unjust systems, and demanded accountability even when it was uncomfortable. So my call to action today is this: undoing institutional racism begins with what we choose to do every day. We must engage, listen, and believe in lived experiences. We must have open and honest conversations, ask questions with curiosity, and remember that impact matters more than intent. We must build platforms for marginalized voices, take risk, experience discomfort, and invest in our communities. Dr. King reminded us, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. And especially in moments like this, when immigration, enforcement, and fear are impacting families and children, service must look like a shared responsibility. Protecting dignity takes all of us, not just one racial or ethnic group, choosing humanity over silence and justice over indifference. Together, we are fearless. Thank you.
My name is Yadira Morales. I am originally from Mexico City. I grew up in the SeaTac Tequila area. Growing up, it was just my mom, my dad, and myself. And no family, no cousins, nothing. So it was very lonely. And not having a place within culture, I think that it rooted my need to be in community. And I think that's what kind of sparked me being so involved at such an early age. I remember when I was little, my mom would get called to the school that I talked too much and that I was a fierce advocate for others. I was always standing on justice and equalities. Being a Mexican immigrant, woman, certain people would like to put us into, or put me into a box to see she's too strong, she's too fierce, she's too problematic. But no, I'm a fierce advocate for helping others. And maybe to someone that might seem problematic, but I literally make a living off of it now, and I'm proud of that. I wanted to find a way where I can love my career, but also help community. When I quit my job to launch Impacto, Impacto means impact in Spanish, and I wanted to connect to multiple organizations, multiple businesses, to be able to offer small administrative tasks for community, but also partner with them to be able to offer free services to community. My company Impacto very much aligns with a local nonprofit, Mi Centro, and they've opened a lot of doors for me as an independent and as a community server. I'm now an instructor for their Camino al Éxito program, which is a small business development, and I teach people the importance of contracts and leadership in community, and it's a beautiful program. But I also get to attend the many events that they do. One of them is through their art department at the Tacoma Art Museum, Dia de los Muertos, which is Day of the Dead. It's very important for my Mexican culture. I'll be having an ofrend there highlighting the Familia Saavedra, which is my maiden name. So it's highlighting the culture, my family, and the immigrant community in the region that were never able to go back home to say bye to their families. My message to community is that don't be afraid to use your personal story, your personal talents to teach one person at a time, because one person reaches many.
Big thank you to India, and thank you to Yadira Morales. That was absolutely incredible. It's now my honor to introduce to you today's keynote speaker, former mayor of the city of Tacoma. Yeah. Victoria Woodard served as Tacoma's mayor from 2018 to 2025. Leading initiatives focused on equity, affordable housing, and youth engagement. She launched programs like the Youth Commission and Compassionate Tacoma. I remember that. I received that award. That was incredible. While championing workforce development and public safety. Nationally, she served as president of the National League of Cities and co-founded Mayors for a Guaranteed Income, bringing innovative policies to Tacoma. Her lifelong dedication to inclusion and opportunity has made her a transformative leader, locally and beyond. Please help me welcome to the stage Ms. Victoria Woodard.
Thank you, Kwabi. I was sitting over there. Those of you who know me know I don't like to hear people talk about me. So as he was reading that, I was like, okay, hurry up, get to the end. Just say, here I come. Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, y'all can do better than that. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I thought we were at a celebration. It sounded like we were at a funeral with the first one. Truly, it is an honor to stand here before all of you today. And I just want to say to those of you who thought I was gone on December 31st, that this is CERC's, they did it, CERC did it, our Community Events and Recognition Committee did this to you all. I normally go to a meeting, I go to a couple of meetings as they're planning the MLK program and see where I can help, and there have been times that I've helped out with the keynote speaker. So I showed up at their meeting one evening, and they talked about all the other elements of the program, and I was getting really excited about what they were planning. And I said, so who's your keynote speaker this year? I said, did you get an invitation out to them yet? They said, yes, we already got the invitation. I said, well, who is it? They said, oh, you'll find out. I said, you're not going to tell me who it is? And they said, no, it's a surprise. Lo and behold, that next Monday in my in-basket was my invitation to be the keynote speaker. So I am truly honored to do that on this day. to Mayor Ibsen. That sounds nice to call somebody else the mayor of Tacoma. To Mayor Anders Ibsen and to the Tacoma City Council, to all of the employees of the city and to every elected leader in this room, to its staff, to this incredible community. Happy MLK Day. So today, we gather not only to honor the life and legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but to recommit ourselves to the work he left unfinished. Dr. King once said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? That question is as relevant today as it was when he first asked it. And it's the question at the heart of this year's theme, Community in Service, a Plan to Action. When we speak of Dr. King, we often speak of his dream. But Dr. King was not only a dreamer, he was a doer. He understood that dreams without actions are just wishes. He understood that justice requires movement. And he understood that community is not something we simply belong to, but it is something we build, something we protect, and something that we can all strengthen through service. Today, I want to talk about what it means to walk that path together as one Tacoma. You see, Tacoma has always been a city shaped by people who show up for one another. We see it in our neighborhoods, in our schools, in our places of worship, and in countless organizations that serve our most vulnerable residents. When I think about community, I think about something that happened right here in Tacoma during the early moments of the pandemic. Many of you remember when Tacoma Mutual Aid Collective began organizing food deliveries, hygiene kits, and essential supplies for families who suddenly found themselves without work, without transportation, and without support. There wasn't a government program. This wasn't a government program. It wasn't a large nonprofit with a big budget. It was neighbors, teachers, artists, students, retirees coming together to meet the most urgent needs of our community. They delivered groceries to elders. They checked in on families. They helped disabled members of our community. And they were just neighbors helping neighbors. They used their own cars and their own money and their own time to support this community. And they didn't ask you whether or not you could pay. They simply asked you, what do you need and how can we help? See, that's service. That's community. And that's the spirit that Dr. Martin Luther King spoke of when he said, we are all tied to a single garment of destiny. And we saw that same spirit again last year when a fire displaced families in Tacoma. And before the Red Cross could even arrive, before city services were fully mobilized, neighbors were already opening their homes. They were collecting clothing. They were offering rides, and they were making sure that every child had a warm place to sleep. You see, people gave what they could. People who had less gave even more. And together, they made sure that no one faced the crisis alone. These are the moments that remind us that community is not just an abstract idea. It's a daily practice of caring for one another. It is the belief that we rise and we fall together. It is the understanding that our collective strength is always greater than our individual power. You see, service is not an event. It's not a box we check. Service is a way of life, a posture of the heart. This afternoon, we met Kwabi again, and you know what Kwabi does. And then we met JD and Uncle Boy. And Uncle Boy, I just want to tell you, as a person who believes, it is one thing to be called and to be a vessel, but it only works when we answer the call as the vessel. It is only when we agree to do the work. See, we can have so much poured into us, but it won't help anybody else if we don't pour it into someone else. Dr. King taught us that service is the rent we pay on this earth. And he made it clear that anyone can serve. You don't need a college degree. You don't need wealth or status. You don't need to be perfect. You just simply need a willing heart. In Tacoma, service takes many forms. It's a teacher who stays late to help a student who is struggling. It's a business owner who is donating supplies to a local shelter. It is a teenager organizing a neighborhood cleanup or giving input on local policy. It is a family opening their home not to just their children, but to fostering other children. It's a community member speaking up in a city council meeting because they believe and they know that their voice matters. Service is not always glamorous. It is often quiet and steady and unseen. But it is the foundation of a healthy, thriving community. And on this day, we honor Dr. King. We are not just called to admire his example, but we are called to follow it and actually do the work. This year's theme challenges us to move from intention, from thinking about something, to actually doing it. It asks us to transform our values into behaviors, our hopes into commitments, and our dreams into deeds. So what does that path look like? Well, number one, it begins with listening. Listening to our neighbors, listening to those whose experiences differ from our own, listening to the voices that have been ignored or silenced. You see, listening is an act of service because it honors the dignity of others. Now that requires courage. And courage can confront injustice. Courage to speak up when silence would be much easier. Courage to acknowledge our own biases and blind spots. And courage to imagine a better future, and not to just imagine it, but to actually work for it. It demands collaboration, not in what we say, but in what we do. Because no single person, no single organization, no single government can solve all of the challenges that we face. But together, across sectors, across organizations, across neighborhoods, the challenges we face, we can face those and fix those together and build solutions that endure forever. It calls for consistency. Dr. King did not just march once and go home and say it's done. He didn't speak once and then sit down. He marched again and again and again. And he spoke again and again and again. See, the path to justice is long, very long, but it requires persistence. It requires us to show up again and again and again. It invites hope. Now, some people believe hope is naive, that hope is in the midst of what we're facing, how can you have hope? But hope is not naive. Hope is discipline. Hope is the belief that our actions actually matter, that change is possible, and that the future can be brighter than the past that we have faced and what we're actually living in today. It also requires a commitment to action. And in Tacoma, I'm proud to say that I believe we are already walking this path. We see it in our efforts to expand affordable housing, to support small businesses, to invest in our youth, to strengthen public safety, and to build a more equitable city for all. We see it in our partnerships between the city, our school district, our park district, our nonprofits, our faith communities, and every single one of our residents. We see it in the way we respond to crisis, not with fear, but with compassion, and not with division, but with unity. That's what makes Tacoma, Tacoma. Because we do know and we do believe that the actions of all of us together can change this community. But let us be clear that we know that while we are where we are today, and that's good, there is still so much work to be done. We know that inequities still exist. We know that too many families struggle to meet basic needs. We also know that racism, poverty, and injustice still shape the lives of far too many members of our community. And so today, I ask all of us in this room to recommit to the work ahead, not with despair, but with clear determination, not with blame of others, but by taking responsibility ourselves, and not with flowery words, but with grit and action. You see, Dr. Martin Luther King once said, and this is my absolute favorite quote by him, and someone said it earlier this evening, or this afternoon. Everyone can be great because everyone can serve. Greatness is not measured by your title or your awards or your accolades. It is measured by the impact that you make on the lives of others. When future generations look back on this moment, on this day in time, I want to hear them say that in Tacoma, they cared for one another. They showed up for one another. They built bridges and not walls. They chose justice over comfort. They chose service over apathy. And they chose action over inaction. I want them to say that we are a community that lived our values, not just on MLK Day, but every single day of the year. In closing, as we leave here today, that wasn't a preacher's closing. See, everybody who's laughing knows, in closing, as I take my seat, as I'm wrapping up. But in closing, as we leave here today, I want to ask each one of you to take one step, just one, towards building the Tacoma that we all deserve and can be proud of. So choose one act of service this week, just one. Reach out to a neighbor. Support a young person. Stand up for one injustice. Join one community effort. Pick up a piece of trash. Nod to someone whose head is down. Offer 1 hour of your time. Use the skill that you possess and use it as a gesture of compassion that only you can give. And with that, let that one act become a habit. Let that habit become a commitment. And let that commitment become a movement. Because movements aren't built by speeches. They're built by people. People like every single one of you in this room. They're built by people who decide that today is the day that they will do something that matters for others. And they grow when ordinary people do extraordinary things with infinite love. Dr. King taught us that the arc of the moral universe bends towards justice, but only when we actually put our hands on it. When we grab it, and only when we pull it together, only when we choose action over comfort, courage over silence, and community over isolation. So today I'm asking you, as your neighbor, as your former mayor, as a fellow member of this beloved community, to put your hands on the ark, to lift your hands to be a part of changing our community. If you are a young person in this room today, your voice matters. If you are a business owner in this room today, your influence matters. Your choices shape the economy and our neighbors. And if you are a community elder, your wisdom matters. Your resilience and your lived experience are the foundation we started on. You see, every single one of us has a role. Every single one of us has a gift. But more importantly, every one of us has a responsibility. So let us walk this path of action. Let us walk it not as individuals, but as one Tacoma. Let us serve boldly. Let us love deeply. And let us raise up this community together. Thank you, and may we honor Dr. Martin Luther King not only with our words, but with our lives.
All right, you guys heard the assignment. You guys heard the assignment. Please, can we give another round of applause, please, please, for Miss Victoria Woodards, please. Now help me welcome Brian Gatewood Sr. and Plami Sanev with Innovative Changemakers to the stage for our final Community Voices segment.
Hey, I'm feeling inspired today. How about you? Good afternoon. My name is Brian Gatewood Sr., founder and CEO of Innovative Changemakers. And today I want to speak to the people who feel that call to do more in their communities. The ones who felt it in their heart but are not sure where to begin. The truth is, service does not start with a title or a position. It starts with a choice. A choice to show up, to use what you have and to make somebody else's path just a little bit lighter. I'm not perfect at all. I did not grow up with the blueprint for leadership or success, but I made tons of mistakes across my life. But I made a decision that changed everything. I decided to believe that I could make a difference in this community. 4 years ago today, Innovative Changemakers started with that belief. One person choosing to show up turned into a movement that has now reached and impacted countless youth and families in this community. We provide mentorship, safe spaces, creative programs, workforce pathways, and real support to youth who are often overlooked. We do not tell them what they can become, we walk with them as they become it. There's a young person right now who needs your wisdom. There's a family right now that needs your support. There's a neighborhood right now that needs your presence. And sometimes the smallest act of care becomes that moment that changes someone's whole direction. So my message today is simple. Do not wait for the perfect timing. Do not wait until you feel completely prepared. Start where you are, give what you can, show up with consistency and heart. You'll be surprised how far your impact reaches. Our community grows with more of a step forward. So if you feel that call to serve, answer it. Someone out there is waiting for exactly what you have to offer. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Plami Sanev, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Innovative Changemakers. Thank you. Brian, thank you for those powerful words, and thank you for your leadership and ongoing commitment and vision. Your commitment and vision have, guided us as an organization, and we appreciate you so much. And your message, speaks directly to the heart of why we do this work. I also want to sincerely thank the City of Tacoma for creating this beautiful safe space that we're in today, and for hosting such an incredible event. It is truly an honor to be here. And congratulations to all of today's awardees. Your impact goes far beyond this room today, so thank you for all your work. I want to build on what Brian shared today. Taking that first step towards community engagement is incredibly important. Choosing to show up definitely matters, but what truly transforms lives, what turns intention into impact is consistency. Consistency is where trust is built. Consistency is where relationships grow. And consistency is where real, lasting investment happens. Because one of the greatest investments that we have is our time. When we consistently show up for one another, we begin to see impact not just in numbers, but in how people feel, how they see themselves, and in the direction their lives begin to take. It happens when we work, and that impact does not happen when we work alone. It happens when we work together. We are truly stronger together, and Innovative Changemakers would not be where it is today without the support of our community partners, the families who trust us with their children, and the young people who choose every single day to invest their time, their energy, and their hope into our organization. And for that, we are deeply grateful. So while we are here today, I want to both encourage and challenge each of you. Lean into collaboration, and do not be afraid to seek support along the way, because none of us are meant to do this work alone. When we commit together, when we stay consistent, and when we support one another, the impact we create reaches farther than we could ever imagine. So thank you all for being here today, and thank you for believing in community and for choosing to be a part of the change. I hope everyone has a beautiful rest of your day.
I describe Rise as a place of home, a connection for people to come in, to feel welcome. My name is Gerald Daniels. I'm the executive director for the Brotherhood Rise Center. We opened up in 2018, and we opened up because Pastor Ivory Crendon, our founding pastor from the Brotherhood Church of God, he wanted to use this building as a community center to be a bridge between the church and the community, because everyone's not going to go to church, and he felt like everyone needs and should have support. So we looked at the first thing that was the major issue that was glaring to us, which was homelessness. And so I had to learn what homelessness looked like. So we started going around the community. We started feeding in the community, started taking food at the outreach, and it started bringing people in, and we realized that they needed services and what type of services that they needed according to the people. So we started building those services through partnerships. And so that got us started understanding behavioral health, substance use, mental health, and the need to feed and clothe people. We have Christmas and Thanksgiving programs every year where we feed the community. We try to give out gift boxes. It's especially important this year to provide food to the community. We're in a food desert already. And then when you couple the fact that people may be short on their SNAP benefits or funding, or there are also people who've been laid off from their jobs because the jobs are moving. So it's very important to make sure we feed the community and make sure the community know that we're a place for you to come in and to be able to receive those meals.
I've been interning at the Rise Center since September, so that would be 3 months now. What's going on right now is just giving a vibe for our community, throwing our Christmas party, giving out gifts to our children, filling their bellies with food, communicating with each other, just basically giving a positive energy so everyone can have a fun environment here at the Rise Center. What I love about the Rise Center is really just being part of my community, being able to give back, and also show people that what I've been through, they've been through as well.
My name is Sharisha Manning. I've been working at the Rise for about 2 years now. I feel like this event will make an impact because a lot of people don't have gifts for the kids. And we have so many, we've wrapped, maybe over 300. And like I said, a lot of people don't have gifts to put under their tree. They came and took pictures with Santa Claus. So I feel like we made a good impact so far.
Regardless who you are, what you look like, where you come from, your background, we want you to feel like we're a family right along with you. We have been able to shape the community to come back and understand that no matter where you are, no matter what's going on in your life, that we're able to help you build it. So shaping the community to understand that we're all still neighbors and friends. Our biggest hopes and desires for the people that we serve in the community is that they continue to grow. They continue to find out if they receive love, give love back. Once they grow, we want them to give back to the community and understand that they're valuable in the community. And we want to be able to build community through love and growth and understanding we all work together and are all neighbors.
It's the type of work that's being done at the Rise Center that makes sure that our hope is revigorated. Can you guys say this with me? Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. And how can we when we're continually inspired by the people of Tacoma? Big thank you to Brian and Plami and to everyone at the Rise Center. Now, for one last reflection, before we conclude today's program, help me welcome to the stage Philip Sharp Skills Jacobs.
What a time, what a time, what a time for all God's children to be together. Our babies, our future leaders dancing fearlessly in the midst of adversarial weather. A brief sun ray of joy in a social, political, economic climate that only seems to be getting wetter. And with this type of forecast, resilience, a pure heart, and quiet leadership is the umbrella, the jacket, and the sweater. And the heater will be our ability to struggle through our differences and become tethered. raising our probability of surviving this storm won't come from the old playbook, nor exciting new quick fixes, no matter how clever. It will take using our power, no matter how great or how small we perceive it, for the benefit of the people whenever we are in a position to pull a lever. I know the impending dark clouds has many of us in this room fatigued. Another day brings another headline that causes us to quietly grieve. External forces and even our own personal situations limiting what we think we can achieve. For many of us, the constant propaganda of fear has pummeled our propensity to believe. But dig this, the nightmare is always a prerequisite to realizing a dream. In the darkest of nights is when you get to see the stars truly beam. Crisis is where we find our community, our tribe. In the trenches is where you find your team. What is the dream in the city of destiny? It's the emerging road to economic freedom. It's where little Black, Filipino, and Samoan kids from the East Side grow up to be humanitarians, black belts, and pilots. It's the community voices being amplified, which results in systemic action and not silence. It's the investment in our children, and it's when we honor our elders by continuing to seek their guidance. It's those micro moments when we struggle past our differences and hold on to the humanity that binds us. And 100 years from now, a community that was in service on a path to action is where history finds us.
Incredible. Another round of applause, please, please, please. Thank you so much, Philip. Today has been nothing short of phenomenal. Special thanks to the city's Events and Recognitions Committee for putting together a terrific, incredible program for us today. Yeah. Now, can you all please stand? Just a reminder that nominations for this year's City of Destiny Awards are open, and there is a QR code on your program. There's a QR code there. We also want to recognize our sponsors and production partners, Greater Tacoma Convention Center, Tacoma Public Schools, Host Event Planning, Encore, Essentials First, and Feliciano Media. Yeah. Also, thank you to all of the program and video participants, our keynote speaker, Ms. Victoria Woodards, and congratulations again to this year's awardees. You guys are definitely are amazing. Last but not least, a final thank you to the Tracy L. Davis Celebration Choir, who will lead us singing through the rest of our day with the song For the Rest of My Life. Thank you all for coming to the Dr. Martin Luther King celebration. Love you, Tacoma. Woo!
For the rest of my life. For the rest of my life. I will serve him. I'll serve him. For the rest of my life. For the rest of my life. I'll trust him. I'll trust him. For the rest of my life. For the rest of my life. I'll serve him. I'll serve him. For the rest of my life. For the rest of my life. I'll trust him. I'll trust him. He's been so good. Been so good to me. And yeah. For the rest of the rest of my life. Ooh, I'll trust him. For the rest of my life, I'll serve him. For the rest of my life, I'll trust him. He's been so good. Yeah. For the rest of my life, I'll serve him. For the rest of my life, I'll trust him. For the rest of my life, I'll serve him. For the rest of my life, I'll trust him. Been so good. Yeah. So I've got to serve him. I've got to serve him. I've got to serve him. I'll clap my hands. I'll lift up my voice. I'm gonna serve the Lord. I'll serve the Lord. Anybody here wanna serve him? Anybody here wanna serve him? Anybody here? Do you have a praise on your lips? Do you want to give God the glory? Do you want to give God the praise?